But why is it anybody pointing out that NC State lost their two offensive tackles, two running backs, and leading receiver from last year? And also, Davis, Davis and Breezy. Breezy didn't play the whole game. I don't know if we had a conversation about Pitt a couple weeks ago when I say Pitt had all these, Clemson had all these penalties against Pitt, but somebody in the comments corrected me and said, "No, you're thinking about the North Carolina State game." So my question is, how do people come up that State is going to have this overwhelming advantage against Clemson, and they lost so many people on offense, and they struggled with Clemson losing two of their top players for that game on defense.
Here's my simple answer, DeAndre, that if you're watching a Clemson show or a North Carolina State show or reading something online from people that cover those teams specifically, most likely those people know what they're talking about. And if you're talking about, and I'm kind of going to take a knock on myself to a certain extent, not on me personally, but guys that do what I do, that cover everybody, they probably don't know all the things that you just talked about that I know about regarding NC State football, because I study my Athlons and my Lindy's, and I look online and I know who they lost and who's coming back and all that other sort of thing. Most people that cover national college football, because Clemson and Ohio State and Alabama and Georgia dominate, they're looking for who's going to be the chic team, the chic pick to knock them off. And it's NC State.
Right. Okay. Well, that's part of the question I want to talk about. Next thing, I sent you a tweet on direct message, and I was talking about the permanent people on teams that people gonna play.
Yep.
So Clemson got State, uh, Georgia Tech, Florida State, which y'all knew was coming. But what I have a problem with is Miami's. I could kind of understand Boston College because of Doug Flutie, and people think about that they had this long history. Florida State, of course, that's obviously going to happen. But my problem is Louisville. Louisville and Miami only played 6 times. The game should have been Virginia Tech and um, Miami, not Louisville should have got Wake Forest. I think Virginia Tech and Wake Forest are permanent um, games between each other. So that's what I was going to say about that. And also, Virginia and Georgia Tech should have been permanent rivals. They played 42 times and they split down the middle 21-21, and they have a history against each other. Um, you know, um, Another one I have an issue with is North Carolina State and Duke. It should have been North Carolina State and Wake Forest. I don't know if you know this, but Raleigh's in a county called Wake County, and Wake County is where Wake Forest used to be held at, and Wake and NC State used to be down the street from each other. And to Reynolds Bank came along and asked North Carolina State, Wake Forest to move to Winston-Salem. So they have a bigger rivalry. And I know people say that knows anything about North Carolina football, the area that Duke and NC State hasn't played 6 years. Even with if they played those 6 years, Wake Forest and NC State has played way more times than Duke and NC State has. So I thought those are the ones I had an issue with.
Okay, the only thing I asked, DeAndre, I don't disagree with any of that, but did you plug those teams into those spots to make sure that that would all work?
Well, I think the Louisville and Virginia Tech, I think you could switch Louisville and Wake Forest. And I think those will work. Um, Virginia, Carolina, I understand because I emailed you. They're the oldest rivalry in the South, correct? Okay.
Quick time out, DeAndre. So you're going to flip flop Wake Forest that's got Virginia Tech, and you're going to flip that with Louisville's what?
Miami.
Miami. So Miami's going to be
Virginia Tech. They played, I think, 48 times.
Oh, okay. So Miami goes off of Louisville's and they go on to Virginia Tech. Yep, I completely agree with that. And Virginia Tech loses Wake.
Yeah, and Wake Forest and Louisville will play each other.
I don't have any problem with that. That makes sense. I thought that Miami and Virginia Tech would be put together.
Right. So, yeah, so I was looking at that. Rest of them I really don't have an issue with, but that Louisville, Miami, that kind of sticks out. If anything, Florida State, and Syracuse, I don't understand that one. It's not 1991, but you could have put Georgia Tech in Florida State. I even heard some of your Florida State contributors say that should have been what it was, and you know, I, everybody has their right to their opinion, but I think that would have been a better. That would have been better. I want to say two more things. So, uh, how does the other schools get around this grant, lands of grant, whatever it's called, that the ACC is in? Because from what I understand of it, is that if ACC school leaves to go to another conference,
Yep.
they have media rights and they have the gate rights for a certain amount of time. So how would the other schools get around it?
Well, I think of it this way, DeAndre,
Mhm.
that if you play in the ACC and you make $35 million a year on TV revenue, and
Right.
you can go to the Big Ten and make $95 million revenue, that's a $60 million difference. That land of grants right pay, I don't know, I don't remember what the figure is, how much money a particular school needs to pay to get out of that, but it's not going to be nearly as significant. I think it's like $20 million, $25 million. So you're going to take the hit and then make so much more money per season.
Okay. Last thing. If I was the Big Ten, and I know you're gonna disagree with me because it's a football show, I would go after Kansas and Colorado. The reason why I say Kansas, if you're gonna have UCLA and Indiana in the Big Ten, if you lock up Kansas, you have a big Kansas and Duke. They say it can go independent in basketball and support their schools. Think how big that would be. I know football, Kansas wouldn't do anything, and I was saying Colorado because you get the Denver market. You already got the three biggest markets or four biggest markets in the country: Chicago, New York, LA, and now you would add Denver, which is like top 10 market. So I would think that would be a way that they would look at it. I know it probably ain't going to happen because Colorado's terrible in sports, but I think that would be look at it. I think that's a way that I would look at it going there. But Kansas and basketball, they get UCLA, Indiana, and Kansas every year.
And I understand it's the Denver market, but does anybody in Denver care about Colorado football? If they didn't have, it's different than Salt Lake City in Utah because there's no NFL team.
Right. Okay. Well, that was it, Mark. Man, I'm glad to see you. I'm trying to get used to this new call in because I was like, man, how do you call in? I was like, I saw everybody going yesterday, and I was like, man, I gotta look up into this, man. But hopefully see you soon, and I enjoyed the show. I hope you
Thanks,
do
DeAndre.
donations. And I
Thank you
didn't
so
know
much.
that was that Mike Vittich at there. I remember that kick down. That was the
Oh, yeah.
Vittich fumble, and Big Ben had to run him back down, run down on a Vittich.
Yeah. The Steelers were salting the game away, and then Jerome Bettis fumbles, and the ball got brought all the way back. And I forget who made the tackle, but
Ben,
they pretty much
Big,
saved the game.
Big Ben, he ran backwards
It
and
was Big
tackled.
Ben.
Yeah,
And
he
then everybody thought, shoot, Vanderjack hadn't missed any kicks that year, that it was a done deal. And of course, the Colts were a huge favorite. They were like 14-0 to start the season that year.
right, right, yeah. And I think Pittsburgh went on to beat Denver
Yep.
and the Bengals. Well, they beat the Bengals the week before.
Yep.
Went on to win the Super Bowl. So man,
Yeah. First
I
team
love.
in league history to win 3 consecutive games on the road to get to the Super Bowl.
So when the Raiders did it, they didn't win 3 games in '82.
They only had to play 2 games in 1980. Oh, no, 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 no. No, they played the first game in Oakland against Houston. The Raiders were the first wild card team to win the Super Bowl, but they won against Houston at home, their first game before they went on the road to Cleveland and San Diego
Yeah,
in 80.
I still don't remember that year. I think they ended up beating the Redskins, who were probably the best team that year. in the league.
That team beat the Eagles.
That team beat the Eagles.
That was the 1980 team. You're thinking of the 83 Raiders.
Oh, okay.
Beat the Redskins with Marcus Allen.
Yeah. Marcus Allen got done dirty. But but I appreciate it, Mark, man.
Thanks, DeAndre.
All right.
Always good to see you, man. Have a good night.